Many in our area still facing a very long road back to normal after historic flooding. May as well mark it on the calendar and expect higher than normal power bills here in January and also again in August. We've seen a lot of the lightning. Take a look at that behind me. It's outrageous. I'm going to show you 6 things you may not think about you can do inside your home to help keep it more energy efficient. There are plenty of fans here, a whole lot of great food, and of course TV is everywhere you turn. And we were here earlier as crews finished up piling on these sandbags and ended 4 days of some very hard work. No one noticed because the car ended up here, upside down, smashed into pieces. It's just feet away from the road, but it's clearly, as you can see, it is out of sight for many of the drivers that pass here every day. Their car crossed the center line and hit this guardrail, you see, but instead of keeping them here, the guardrail acted like a ramp, sending the car up in the air, even upside down. They eventually landed just underneath that stop sign and fell directly down, virtually out of sight. 2 days later, a passerby noticed a cell phone in the road, got out to check things out, and that's when they stumbled upon the accident and called police. Well, the search, Scott, is intensifying out here. Multiple boats are here. They're still trying to find that man who was swimming here in the Tennessee River. I can tell you, the search efforts are focusing right there. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see that white boat in the distance. That is a boat where both the man and woman got into the water, and the man was seen not far from that boat, last seen near the river channel. Now, Sheriff John Hayden says the man is a neighbor who lives here in the Stiles Landing area. He and a female friend went out on a boat for a ride. They both got out of the boat to take a swim and then couldn't make it back. I'm told the current was very strong and neither one was wearing a life jacket. Now, the woman did make it to the shore. She ran to a neighbor's house and called 911. Since 3:30, crews have been out here searching. McCracken County Sheriff John Hayden says crews' concerns grow as time goes on.
We've got
crews still out here, as I mentioned, multiple crews here. They've called in crews from McCracken County, also from Massac County, Livingston and Marshall counties as well. So they're combing together resources. I do know on a lot of these boats they have those side scan sonar equipment that they're using to kind of look underneath the water to try to find any more clues. Instead of shooting the bad guys, you're shooting teachers and students in what look like very realistic situations in schools. Just as the name suggests, you become the school shooter, and many people say games like this one take entertainment way too far.
Here's your objective.
Just a few seconds into this game and already it's too much for TV, so we blurred the images. In this video, gamers become disgruntled students who can rack up points by shooting teachers, students, and even themselves before SWAT teams can. It's a scenario game sellers like Lindsay Sparks say is hard to believe.
I am amazed that they would come out with some kind of game where you could realistically go in and reenact these violent acts. Things that happen to real people and real children. I think it's horrible.
As horrible as it sounds, it could soon be for sale. School Shooter North America 2012 is a modification to a game called Half-Life 2. The modification, created by Checkerboard Studios, isn't out just yet, but it's already getting plenty of attention on both sides.
It's completely wrong. It's really nonsense.
Gamer Brian Oliver takes issue with the fact that School Shooter exploits killing the innocent, where other games like Call of Duty involve shooting the bad guys or those in situations of war. Oliver says it should be a parent's job to protect their kids from this type of violence, no matter how popular it ends up being. Lindsay Sparks says the game won't end up at her store.
It's not something that we would condone here at Gamers Paradise. It's not something that we would ever offer. I think it's very disturbing.
In the end, many parents will have the final say at who does and does not get to play. The health department says ethnic restaurants are prime targets for these inspection scams because the owners usually don't speak good English. In fact, it's what the scammers are counting on. But here at the China Buffet in Eddyville, the scammers didn't get very far. The first of several calls came in Tuesday afternoon. Workers say each one started like many scam calls do.
It was a foreign accent. It was not an American accent.
The man on the other end claimed to be a health inspector who said he was showing up at 2 the next day to check out problems with the food, unless restaurant owners provided personal information and paid to keep them away.
And they weren't expecting to have somebody that spoke such good English that they couldn't strong arm.
The scammers were expecting to talk to this man, Dong, the restaurant's owner.
I don't know English.
That's what scammers were likely trying to take advantage of. Instead, the owner passed them off to Donna, an American who's like family. Donna did some internet research and learned the phone call was likely part of a scam targeting ethnic restaurants in Kentucky and even as far away as Colorado.
And what they normally do is they'll say they can't make an appointment, and then they will say, but for X amount of dollars, you send us this amount of dollars, we'll take care of the paperwork. And according to what we found on the internet, multitude of them have given money thinking it was legit.
But I called the real Lyon County Health Department, found out they were here on the 2nd and the restaurant passed an inspection. They also said they won't ever call to set up an appointment because inspections are supposed to be surprise.
And they just walk in the door. They don't give any advance notice.
Our cameras were rolling when the so-called inspectors were supposed to show up. But 2 o'clock came and went. Even 20 minutes later, no one walked through the door or called for cash. Donna says she's glad nothing happened here and hopes her story can keep other restaurants from becoming victims. In Eddyville, Kentucky, Gerran Thomas, WPSD Local 6. It's been very exciting here at the middle school because they're all getting ready for the watch party, of course, and it's for one person. It's starring
No. Look, we've got slope, y-intercept.
By day, he teaches math at Carlisle County Middle School, but tonight it's Jake Ray's time to shine.
I've said for years I'm gonna be on Wheel of Fortune one of these days.
After an audition last year, Ray's wish is coming true.
I'm getting quizzed all the time.
We caught up with the Wheel fanatic in November before he left to tape the show in Los Angeles. Ray left West Kentucky with high hopes and big words for the host of America's game show.
My brother-in-law, who's coming with me, he's already planned the celebration dance. We've got it all lined out as to what we're going to do. Vanna, you don't have to watch out, but Pat might want to watch out a little bit because it's going to get a little excited on the stage, I think. Math directly relates to the Wheel of Fortune because we're wanting to add up a lot of numbers, so we'll see how that goes.
The Wheel is known for trips, cash, and prizes, and the countdown continues to see what Mr. Ray will take home. Ray can't say how much he won, but it's one thing that has the whole school in suspense.
I think he won something. I don't know how much, but I think he won something.
50,000. I think. He would definitely be here if he won $1 million. He loves his kids.
We're pulling for you, Mr. Ray!
And it's clear the kids at Carlisle County Middle School love Mr. Ray too. No matter how it turns out, students, staff, friends, and family will be watching and hoping for the best.
I think he deserves it. Just a good man all around, so he deserves it.
Win $1 million, Mr. Ray!
All right, back live. There's about 15 minutes left to go, and I tell you, nobody wants to wait until the end of the show more than my friends here at the middle school. We got 15 minutes left. Everybody excited. Of course, we cannot wait to see what happens, and we will be watching here. We'll bring you the very latest coming up tonight. Find out how much you won tonight on Local 6 at 10. For now, live in Carlisle County, Gerran Thomas, WPSD Local 6. A difficult day. Students returned back to a local school after a tragic bus crash.
He got up and got on the bus and went to school like a normal day.
But today was anything but normal for students and staff at Carlisle County Elementary School. There was one seat empty today, and the loss of the little boy who sat there is on the minds of everyone at the school. 6-year-old Logan Simpson died when his school bus slid off of US 62 and into a ditch. Today, Logan's classmates and teachers returned for the very first time with heavy hearts. Meantime, investigators still aren't sure what went wrong. This morning, state police closed off a section of US 62 as they work to reconstruct the scene. Now, students have just a little more than a week left in the school year, and today, grief counselors were available for students and adults. Parents say that will go a long way toward helping the students cope. We have continuing coverage tonight on the flood 2011, and many in our area still facing a very long road back to normal after historic flooding. We're all starting to see more damage as river and lake levels continue to drop. Oaks Road in McCracken County is a prime example. Here's what it looked like 2 weeks ago, and this is what it looks like today. At one time, floodwaters covered the road and surrounded homes, and now piles of trash line the road, along with lots of brown and mud and grass. Local 6's Todd Faulkner explains all that damage is nothing compared to what homeowners are facing inside their homes. And we're getting plenty of questions about FEMA and Flood 2011 aid for victims. Just to reiterate, there is no direct assistance for Kentucky homeowners that's available just yet. FEMA has 10 damage assessment teams that are spread out all across the state. Many of those teams are in West Kentucky. They're going to locations where county leaders tell them the worst damage is located. It's a long process with no set deadline in sight, and we'll keep you updated. Men who drink coffee may reduce their risk of developing the most serious form of prostate cancer. A new Harvard study found men who drank at least 6 cups of Joe a day were 60% less likely to develop lethal prostate cancer and 20% less likely to develop any type of prostate cancer. Experts found this protective effect in men who drank either regular or the decaf coffee.